2024, man, did not it come in with a bang? 2024 is here, and it looked like it's going to be an explosive year in the church, in the comedy world, Hollywood world. Like, it's all going to be a very, very interesting year. And I want to say, justice for Elijah McClain. I seen and heard where pretty much everybody that was involved in his death are being convicted. All I can remember hearing from him saying, I'm different. And I'm working on a message that's going to be dedicated to him. I'm different. But I want to talk about Katt Williams. I'm sure everybody around the world, the United States most definitely, knows what's going on in the comedian world. Everybody is paying attention. It's pretty much tied into the church, Hollywood. This is what's going on with Katt Williams and the comedians. It's big. It's major. But I'm not here to really talk about that. I don't have nothing to say about them people one way or the other. But what I want to focus on is the people are calling him bitter, salty, or whatever, mad, because he's speaking up and speaking out about Hollywood and what goes on. It seems like in America that we are kind of back and forth. On one hand, we encourage people to come forward, talk about the issues, put it out there in the open. What happened to you? Talk about this stuff. We encourage. That's why we have therapists, people we go to see and talk to them. People take classes, counseling class, talk about your issues, put it out there in the open. Whatever going on with, that's why, the Bible talks about confessing our sin one to another. In the Christian world, there ought not to be anything that a man can do that he shouldn't be able to go and talk to and confess his sins and get forgiveness. There shouldn't be anything that he or she shouldn't be able to confess that they did in the church world. The Bible tells the Christians to stay away from the just. Whatever going in the church world is supposed to be handled in the church with the church people. But the world is so messed up now. The church is so. But anyway, my issue is on one hand we encourage the people to talk about stuff, put stuff out in the open. You've been hurt, get it off your chest, talk about it. But it seems like on the other hand, don't talk about it. oh, you better, you mad. So which is it? I done heard stories throughout my life where young girls or young boys have been victims of child molestation, and they were like, they was afraid to tell their families or whatever for fear of being ostracized or criticized or stuff like that. So they had to live, a lot of them had to live with it throughout their entire life. Then some come forward after so many years and just tell what happened. But it's like our society, on one hand, tell it, talk about your issues, put it out there, and on the other hand, don't talk about it. Keep it to yourself. Why is that? He's salty. She's salty. She's bitter. In life, you gonna have that people who would just go around and try to stir up trouble. So, but on the other hand, too, people do be done wrong. People do get wrong. So which way do we want to have it in America? Talk about it or don't talk about it? Does it depend on who you are? In life? Does it depend on what your status is? If you're a celebrity or something, don't talk about it. Be quiet, because you might ruin, or you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of confused. It seems like when you hear a celebrity come out and talk about stuff that happened to them, people want to start painting them as being salty and bitter and stuff like that. So I'm confused about this. What are we supposed to do? For the common people, the common men and common girls that hear this, if people gonna be criticized and talked about just for talking about what happened to them and getting it out there, how they're gonna make? Ain't that gonna have a negative impact on people, on other people that who want to come forward and say stuff or just want to get stuff off their chest? What kind of society are we living in? We send mixed messages. Talk about it, don't talk about it. Tell it, don't tell it. For the sake of certain people or for the sake of images. I try to stay away from too much of that worldly stuff, but you can't help not to pay attention to it unless you living off the grid, unless you living way up in Alaska somewhere where you not connected to society. That's the only way you can't really don't pay attention to the world, especially through social media now. You can pay attention to everything. We all different races, different cultures. We pay attention to a little bit of everything in America now. Country singles, R&B. We into it all. Don't nothing hardly get by us. And YouTube now, all the influence, they definitely ain't nothing. It's definitely not anything getting by society now. Everybody talking about everything. But how do we handle this? Katt, I don't know the history. I don't know they been them people. I don't follow too much into them worldly comedian stuff. I never been to a comedy show and stuff like that. I don't follow that. But can't really ignore it. Like I said, I pay attention. Sometimes I listen to. I ain't gonna lie. Like I really don't listen to them or whatever. I listen to Mike Epps them and stuff sometimes. I don't really get into it. But hey, you know, I'm guilty of that. I do listen to worldly stuff. Not that I follow it, but it's just the fact that, you know, sometimes you listen to stuff. You listen to them to them comedians sometimes. Jokes and dirty and stuff like that. I mean, but society you listen to it. But I don't follow them. I don't, you know, like a lot of people just be in their world. Everything that come about, the people, hip hop, R&B in the world, people just dedicate their life to following these celebrities. I don't do that. But I see a pattern. Talk about it, don't talk about it. People, we can't ignore the issue. I see this too. People say, well, it's a lot of them done sold their soul. A lot of them, yeah. In order to sell your soul, you have to know the truth first. I hear people say, oh, well, you don't sold your soul. Well, worldly people can't sell their soul. That term, sell your soul, is a term used for righteous people, people of God that get influenced by the devil. And you lend yourself to the devil, give yourself to the devil. I mean, you turn away from God, you know what you're doing, but you have been enticed by the devil. You're a saved person, you know God, but the devil has influenced you with the money, with the world, and you took the bait. Now you become a servant to the devil. That's where the term "sell your soul" come from. I hear a lot of people say that. Well, worldly people can't sell their soul because, according to the Bible, if you haven't come alive to the faith, you dead. That means you already of the devil. He trying to get you back if you come alive to the truth, to God. His job is to win you back to him, bring you back to him. But the thing that what they are saying about Katt Williams now, he's salty. They say this about a lot of celebrity people who come out and after so long they voice their opinion about stuff. Then they try to paint them people as being crazy, or you know what I'm saying, done fell off the deep end or stuff like that. So how do we deal with this? It's a lot to be learned from this situation with the comedians and stuff like this. It's a lot. Positive stuff we can learn. How we deal with these issues. Maybe dealing with this stuff and putting a lot of stuff will curb the suicide rate. People be looking good. Celebrities, folks, money. Look like they doing good in life. Look like they doing, all of a sudden, they done committed suicide. Stuff like that. So, I believe holding secrets and stuff like that can have a lot to do with it. I'm just saying, maybe we need to look at this and study this. And don't write people off when we feel like as being crazy or salty or something like that. People have a life experience. People have dealt with stuff. People deal with stuff. People have dealt with stuff. I got stuff I done dealt with in my past. You know, stuff that I never talked about. Don't really, learn. After so long, you learn some things how don't really carry a whole lot of weight. Some stuff you just learn to just put it. But still, a lot of people deal with a whole lot of stuff, done dealt with a whole lot of stuff in their life. And maybe talking about it will give them relief.